There's sometimes they might have stuff on their shirt that I can't control if I let them eat in the car or something, but I always had to change the clothes in my trunk. So I'm just like, okay. So I passed all of that. But when it came to domestic, I did not pass it because they were like, okay. They got all those ducks out of the row. But then they asked me about domestic and I confirmed, yeah, it is domestic. And I told Brielle, I said, Brielle, just tell the truth about what you be seeing Rayshawn do to mommy, okay? My daughter told them, and our stories aligned. And so they were able to have enough to prove that it was domestic violence. Then they looked further in it and saw the 911 calls. They tried to use that against me. And it was like, we finna close out the case, but you need to get a VPO on him. Whatever, because we see that you called the police on him a lot. I said that's because he be stalking me and shit, you know. It's like, you need to get VPO. I was like, all right, I'll get one. I said I don't want to really get one because I feel like it's gonna make him mad and he gonna hurt me even more or want to harm me. But I did it anyways for my kids. I'm stressing. I did it for my kids. And so I was like, okay. So I fell for it. He got a paper showing that he had a court date. He asked me about it. And that was the same day that DHS came over to talk. And I was like, I want to know what they talking to you about because they be lying to me and they're messy. And every time I made a complaint about what they were doing, they were telling them what I said to be messy, and it would cause more drama. So I stopped telling them stuff. But anyways, long story short, I got the VPO, whatever. He got that paper right when they came. He was like, you got VPO on me? I was like, they made me get the VPO. And she was like, no, I did not. I'm like, they said in order to close out the case, I had to get the VPO. And she just kept lying, saying she didn't say that. So I was like, I can show you the text messages and I can show you and I can call my mama. So I called my mama and daddy and they was like, yes, we was there when she said you had to get it. It didn't matter. He was mad. And he wasn't trying to show me that he was still mad. He was like, can you just drop me and my kid? Because me and the caseworker started arguing. So he was like, can you just drop me and my kids off at the hotel at La Quinta? I said, yeah. I dropped them off because they were supposed to be with him that week anyways. I dropped them off. And we started arguing. And he put his hands on me. And that's how he beat the fuck out of me that day. And as soon as they was about to close out that case, I didn't even know that night they were closing out the first case. The second case got open because I called the police. He beat the living shit out of me. I had a concussion, knocked on my head. He went to jail. And, that's how my kids had to go into a guardianship. So, once I got close to getting my kids back, I only had one more thing to do. As soon as I was going to complete that, the grandma said, she was evil, the one who called DHS on me. She said, I don't want to be the guardian anymore. And they was like, what? She said, I don't want to be the guardian. And so it was like, well, I'm sorry, Miss Delaney, but we're going to have to put your kids in DHS custody. And she was clapping and shit. Mind y'all, these are her real grandkids. These are her blood grandkids. She was clapping and shit. Talk about yes, yes. And, that's when my kids went into DHS custody, but I stole my kids. I took them. I ran off because these two girls was telling me I'm like, I just completed almost everything. I got one more thing to do, and you gonna let her take, mess this up for me? And she was like, well, email me, go to the law library and go give me copies of all this. I said, you already got copies of all of this. Well, go print it off again. 2 girls ran up to me and my baby daddy and was like, because I took him to court. She was like, they're trying to use that as a distraction. They about to go get your kids while you're up here. And I took off running. I'm like, come on. Like, my baby daddy ride with me. I said, I'm about to leave you up here. You better ask your mama to give you a ride or whatever like that. And then I walked past his mom and she said something. I said, we was cussing. I was like, bitch, get away from me. Like, we was into it bad. And the police had to come or whatever, separate her away from me because they knew she was fucking cuckoo in the head. Separated her away from me because the police was in there the whole time because she just ignorant as hell. She was about to go to jail, just like she went to jail at that VPO court when y'all was trying to figure out who went to jail. That was her, not me. Anyways, I took off running, went to my kid grandma's house. I took my kids before DHS was there, and I had my baby daddy jump the fence and handed my kids to him. And they took off, and I started driving real far. Then I got called, his grandma was like, I might be able to be the guardian. I might be able to be the foster care mother. And they don't have to go, because they was telling me my kids were going to be separated with strangers. So I wasn't letting that happen. And my daughter wasn't in DHS custody, so it was no, what about Brielle? She was not involved in any of that. So I'm like, running off with my kids. She like, you doties, y'all need to come back because I might be able to be the foster care mother and stuff. Just come back. I'm like, man, I don't know. I was asking my baby daddy, should I? Like, what should I do? And I just was crying the whole way coming back. And they say, y'all need to hurry up because if they leave, it's going to be bad. They said they're going to call the police and stuff. I was like, I don't care. I'm far anyways. But I was just crying, and if you watched that live, you would have saw me crying so bad outside my car. I was coughing and choking because they said they was going to take my kids. And that's how they went into DHS custody.